Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of September 13th. I'm Terri Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics, because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week, we watched 2 new to me, not so much to Catherine, properties. The movie The Station Agent and the Broadway show Come From Away, which is on AppleTV Plus now in a filmed on the stage version. The Station Agent is something I have a long history with, a long history of meaning to watch it and not. Mm-hmm. I remember when it first came out. What's the date of release on that? You have the box there.
I believe it's 2003 or 4.
So when it came out, I thought, that sounds like something I would like. I should see that. But, I was dealing with kids and work and all sorts of things, and I just never, didn't get to the movies very much. And, then it was on movie channels, and I thought, I'm going to watch that. I would like that. I should watch that. And then I just never got around to it. And it's always been in the back of my mind on that list of movies that, I should see that. I would really like that. I need to find that. I need to watch that I never got to.
Right.
And a couple of years ago, I saw it on a movie channel, and I said to my husband, record that. Put that on the DVR. I want to watch that. I'm going to watch that one day. And it then sat there for 2 years, unwatched. Every so often, my husband would say, do you want to delete this? Can we get this off of here? You're never going to watch it. I'm like, no, I would like that. I'm going to watch it. So I finally just had a Sunday where I didn't have anything to do. And I was looking at all the streaming services, but there's 5,000 things to look at and decide, and it's too hard. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to see what's on the DVR. Maybe there's something I can get rid of. And there was The Station Agent. And I thought, I am going to watch it. Yes, finally, I'm going to watch it. And I adored it. I was so right all those years. If I ever watch that, I'm going to enjoy that. And I did. And I have since watched it again. And it's so nice.
Yes.
It's so exactly the kind of movie I like. Mm-hmm. Not super plot heavy, mostly based on relationships between people. And it was so good. It was so good. Now, you watched it. Did you see it when it originally came out?
I honestly can't remember how. I know I've seen it before, but I couldn't remember, when you first mentioned it, I was like, yes, I've seen it. Peter Dinklage is in it, right? And then that was the extent of my. I remembered he lived in the train depot. And that is it. And I don't know. So 2003, 4, I had a toddler, so I feel like I probably wasn't going to the movies. But it's like you said, it's the kind of movie that my husband definitely likes. So
yeah, my husband wouldn't watch it, but
we must have rented it at some time or something. 2004 is also the year that we moved. So anyway, but yeah, and when I brought it back, he's like, "Oh, I love that movie." So yeah, it's as I mentioned to you on the DVD box, which I got from the library because that's how I watch movies. Some of the time. Well, because this is not streaming. You could buy it. We found you could buy it on, I think, Prime or something.
Probably Prime and probably Apple.
Yeah, you could definitely buy it on
but you could also definitely get it from your library.
Yes.
Or you could wait around for it to be on a movie channel and then DVR it and then hold on to it for a couple of years before you watch it.
That works too.
Yes.
So, but on the box, number one, it's billed as a comedy in the description on the back. And number two, one of the blurbs that they chose to use from a review in the New York Times calls it hilarious.
Please identify the portions you found hilarious.
Yeah, was it the time when Peter Dinklage almost got hit by a train and he kind of smiled and looked forward to it? Or was it the time when Patricia Clarkson overdosed on some kind of pills?
Yes.
Which part was
both
hilarious to you?
Yeah, I wonder with something like that if they didn't actually watch the movie, they just wrote a review. But it has dramatic and tragic parts, and it has parts that are, you know, I wouldn't even say hilarious, but amusing.
Yeah,
Parts
I mean,
that
it's
make you
not,
smile and chuckle.
Exactly.
But
It's smile and chuckle. It's not hard, har, like.
yeah. You might have to classify it as a comedy because it's not really a drama, and maybe these little oddball, quirky movies get classified that way, but I certainly wouldn't call it hilarious, which is in no way a knock. It's charming and heartwarming and so engrossing, and, you know, you just enjoy spending time with these people.
Right.
And seeing...
Even though Peter Dinklage, his character does not enjoy spending time with you because he wants to be by himself.
One thing I really liked about it is, I mean, Peter Dinklage is terrific in it, and that's a great character, and he brings so much to it. And certainly his physicality is part of that character and of why he wants to, you know, living in a place where there is nobody around is attractive to him.
Right.
But you could plausibly imagine that movie with anybody who's kind of an outsider in that role. It's like not a movie about a dwarf who moves to a train station. It's a movie about lonely people who have isolated themselves and how they sort of are drawn into community. I mean, that sounds really boring, but that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know this is mostly remembered as the movie with Peter Dinklage in it that kind of made him a star, but Bobby Cannavale is so adorable. Is that how we say his name?
I believe so, yeah. I feel like he looks so different now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was a long time. We all look pretty different.
We all look different. But I mean, like, Patricia Clarkson doesn't look very different.
She doesn't. That's true. She was already a little older than the two of them, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
Old enough that I was surprised that her child who died was young. I was assuming it was like a teenager or a young adult, although she maybe wasn't quite that old. But when it was a little kid who fell off the monkey bars, oh my gosh, every mother who's ever been on a playground goes, yeah, that could be me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They were just all, just everything about it was so appealing and so nice. And even the sort of goofball guys who were giving him a hard time periodically. Still, it wasn't a ton of menace. It was just, well, they're idiots, and I wish they wouldn't do that.
Right.
But I wonder if Bobby Cannavale's character in this, Joe, is sort of the non-romantic male version of a manic pixie dream girl.
Yes.
Somebody whose only role in the plot is to bring sad, isolated people into relationship. You know?
Yeah.
Sort of, he goes after them sort of in the way Kirsten Dunst goes after the guy in Elizabethtown that everybody criticizes and is so upset about. I just heard a podcast that was negative about that movie and I'm mad. But he's kind of the same. Yeah. You know? You don't really ever find out that much about him. I mean, you can infer that there's some sadness and difficulty in his life because of his dad. But he's just like, I'm going to be friends with you guys.
Right.
I'm going to be like a puppy at your ankles until...
Exactly.
Until you pet me and let me walk along the train tracks with you. And then I'm going to bring her in too, and we are going to be friends. And
whether you like it or not.
Exactly. I mean, he finally does get upset when Finn is mad at him, but Finn has a good reason to be mad at him.
Yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking when Peter Dinklage's character, Finn, I just forgot his name from it, when he finally just like loses it and it's like, leave me alone, and it's and Joe is so hurt. Yes. And you can just feel that how painful that is. And then but then of course that was the catalyst that Finn needed to realize, like, oh, I do like people, certain people. I care about them. So, because if he wouldn't, if Finn's character, if he hadn't have gone, you know, persisted on checking on Patricia Clarkson's character,
Olivia,
you know, that could have ended badly. So
right. So he was in the end as persistent with her as Joe had been with the two of them, and so it's sort of like, you know, sometimes you you get to choose your family, and you have to be sort of put yourself out there for it. It's just so nice. I just liked it so much. And interesting to see Michelle Williams in younger days after having recently seen her in Fosse Verdon. Maybe not that recently, but there she is. Must not have been long out of Dawson's Creek at that point.
Yeah, she's
or maybe still in.
Speaking of young, very young.
Yeah. She looked, but nice little role there. And I have to laugh. I only knew this because I looked up, the cast in IMDb, and I saw his name and thought, he's in this? Do you ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I've only seen a few episodes.
Okay, there's a actor there. I think his name is Joe Latruglia, who's in this as he's kind of the buddy of the guy who we ultimately find out is Michelle Williams' boyfriend.
Okay,
the little dark-haired buddy, and he looks completely different, so much younger. and like I would not have picked him out as this actor unless I had seen his name in IMDb, and then I could go back and look at. Oh,
that's who that is.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't recognize you, buddy. But that's what you were doing in 2003. Okay. Or 4, whatever it was. But I should also call out the character we haven't mentioned who's pivotal is the little girl.
Yes.
Who sort of is also fascinated with trains, as Finn is, and is sort of fascinated with him as well.
Right.
And kind of dips in and out. I thought she was great. And my daughter, when she watched it, she said, oh, yeah, she was on she's from some Disney show or some Nickelodeon show that my daughter watches.
So funny.
And so she's like, as I do also, she's looking up the name on IMDb to see, oh, yeah, that is her.
Right.
Anyway, if I would highly recommend to listeners, if you have not seen this, I mean, we've said some things that happen, but I don't think you can spoil it. It's a slice of life kind of movie.
Yeah.
And to hang out with these characters is so delightful.
It is.
And to see how they come out of their isolation, especially at this time when, honestly, some of us have isolated ourselves for reasons. And I'm finding it hard to get back out of my shell. My shell is very cozy. And I am given opportunities to relate with people. And I'm like, I'm fine. That's okay. I'm just going to stay here in my little train station. Y'all go ahead. Just drop a coffee by my door. It'll be good. So it's a nice reminder that, engaging with people, even when you think you don't want to, is probably a good thing.
Yes.
And will ultimately enrich your life.
That is an excellent segue to our next topic.
Yes.
Sort of coming out of your isolation and the fact that sometimes people have to kind of drag us out. And we watched Come From Away, which is a Broadway show about what happened in Gander, Newfoundland in the aftermath of September 11th, where all the people of Gander, 7,000 people who lived there, had to open up their homes and their town to 9,000 strangers who landed unexpectedly at that airport in Gander because of September 11th.
Yeah, so the U.S. airspace closed down and they couldn't enter it. So this little I guess it had been a big international airport at one time, and then planes started to be able to go the whole way without refueling. So it just had fallen into disrepair, until all of a sudden, all these planes.
Yes. So this one, I had seen the traveling, the touring Broadway production.
Wow. It must have been so cool live.
I think I might have mentioned it on a roundup.
Yes, I think you did.
So that was my experience with it. And you had listened to the
cast album
the music
many times and wept.
Yes.
And to see it actually on its feet, it's so much more than you can get off the cast album. Just the way it's staged and performed is amazing.
Yes. It's fascinating the way that they do it. It's very different from, it's very non-traditional for a Broadway show. It's, people wearing regular clothes that they would have been wearing in 2001 in Newfoundland. And people with like normal person bodies and faces,
yes.
And all ages,
right.
I think is really something that sets it apart.
Yes, ages and sizes, and it's not like 25 lithe chorus people dancing in the background. It's people like you and me.
Exactly.
And just the way they so seamlessly went from character to character. Each of the actors plays a number of different characters, some major, some just in passing for one scene.
Right.
And you never are confused.
No.
They're always...
And they just like maybe take off a jacket or put on a different shirt or a hat or something.
Or change their accent.
Mm-hmm.
And even, feel like there were even sometimes when they didn't even do anything and you just knew from the context of what they were saying, who they were. Unbelievable.
Yes.
It's just so well performed and so well conceptualized. I just wonder how somebody thought, hey, this could be a musical and here's how we could do it.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. So mesmerizing.
It comes from like oral histories.
Yeah.
From all the people who were there, whether they were the plain people, as they called them, or the residents. The creators, as I understand it, heard these stories and turned it into this amazing piece of work.
Yeah. And then just to have the idea of having, the same people playing different characters and how well that works. It works so much better than it should. And I was constantly amazed. And you're sort of delighted by it after a while.
Yes.
How people switch back and forth.
And very few, very little scenery, very few props.
Yeah.
I mean, it's chairs. Basically.
Yeah.
A few tables and boxes and things. And,
and most of at the end of the, this was recorded on stage with many of the original cast members. Recorded recently, but with many of the original cast members. And at the end of the credits, they had pictures of like the actors with the actual person that their role was based on. And that was really, I've read things about it that, the stories were true and the lady from Texas and the guy from England really did get married and that there was a scholarship and that all these people go back, I think, from time to time and have gotten together and are all very active supporters of the musical. And, it's still an extent, the musical itself is an extension of that remarkable experience.
Right.
I love the lady who was going on all the planes trying to find the animals. It's like, you wouldn't think of that, but there would have been animals on those planes.
Right.
And if it was your dog who was somewhere in a hold for 2 days without food, you'd be going crazy.
Out, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. She was hilarious.
Yes.
And just all the things that you never thought about, what would be involved with that. And then it's just beautifully, a really beautiful, inspiring story told in the best possible way. And the fact that it's the same people playing both the locals and the visitors sort of just increases that feeling of community that we're all in it together and we're all one, despite our differences. Right. And it's another message that is good for right now.
Yes. Absolutely.
But it's funny because if you told somebody, oh yeah, it's a musical about 9/11, it sounds so unpromising. Oh my goodness, how could that be a good idea?
Yeah.
But it's just the loveliest thing.
It is.
And, if you do not have Apple TV Plus, this would be worth getting the free trial.
Absolutely.
Or pay for 1 month, just to watch it. Because it's, I think, eminently rewatchable. I plan to watch it again. But just...
And it's just an opportunity, if you can't get to Broadway or you aren't somewhere where a touring production comes, it's just such a wonderful opportunity to be able to see it.
Yeah. Yes.
And I feel, similar to Hamilton, this is the same type of thing where it was filmed from the stage. And I do think you get a good sense, having seen it live myself, I do think you get a good sense of it from from the way that they filmed it.
Yes.
And you get a little bit extra because you get some close-ups and some different angles that you didn't obviously get in person. So
right. Yeah, it's very well done, I think, the mix of long shots and close-ups. It really gives a good feel for the staging of it, which is very, very creative.
Yes.
If your idea of musicals is,
Schmigadoon.
The things that are parodied in Schmigadoon,
yes.
and that's not your cup of tea, this is very different.
Very.
In a good way. As you mentioned, everybody looks, the actors look like real people. And
I mean, if nothing else, I feel like it's good to support a show in which these actors get this kind of work.
Right. Right.
Because like you said, they're not all 25-year-old super skinny, whatever.
And nothing against the 25-year-old super skinny chorus people. I enjoy watching you work, but it's nice to see something that's like, oh, you know what? That looks like something a real person could do.
Exactly.
A non-dancer, whatever. Yeah. It's lovely. It's just really inspiring, has a great message and a great story, and it's just fun to watch.
And it's not, all sunshine and roses. I mean, they do get into, people fought, people were scared, people were angry, people were, freaking out.
Yes,
and,
as you can
and
imagine.
held together in close quarters. And so it's not like it was all like lovey-dovey. We're all in this together. There was strife. But they got through it.
They did, and made this amazing piece of art.
Yeah.
So go get it. All right. So from here, normally we would be gearing up for another season. In fact, the 30th season, I believe.
Oh, my.
Of Dancing with the Stars. And maybe, you know what? Maybe 29 was enough. We are going to abstain from this season. We may peek into it quietly on our own on YouTube videos and such. But the combination of Tyra as the host, which we decried last season greatly, and the fact that there's really nobody in the cast this time that I have any real interest in seeing. There's a few people who are familiar to me, but I don't care. So last year, I would have liked to have boycotted because of Tyra, but they pulled me back in with Justina Machado. This year, there is no such magnetic pull. So we're just going to sit this one out. If y'all are watching Dancing with the Stars, let us know how it's going. You enjoy it. I hold nothing against people who want to watch it. That's great. I feel like they have made it very, very easy for me to take a principled stand about the host. And, I noticed that Ezra Souza, who we saw on So You Think You Can Dance, is going to be a troupe member this year. So good luck to him. I'll look for your videos on YouTube, man. And, there's a few. It's really not. Good luck with that, Dancing with the Stars. Good luck.
I'll cheer for Suni Lee, the gymnast.
Yes, that's true.
From afar.
That's true. But it's not like there haven't been gymnasts upon gymnasts upon gymnasts on the show. True. And do we know if she has a personality?
We do not.
Okay. Because Lori Hernandez came on and just was the most adorable little rubber band that you can imagine. But if she had not had that personality, I don't know if she would have won.
Right.
So, and, there's a couple of old timers that I recognize, but mostly just feel sorry for that this is where they are in their career, that they have to go on Dancing with the Stars. Jimmy Allen is a country singer I've heard of, and good luck to him. He'll probably be getting the Bobby Bones push, but, Yeah. At this point, the pros are bigger stars than the contestants, and that's kind of a problem.
Yeah. That would be the other reason the other thing I'd be curious to see. Yes,
but I just don't feel like if we watched it and then talked about it every week, it would be 20 minutes of us going, and this stunk, and that stunk, and I'm so mad about this, and this was so bad, and can you believe she did that? Nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to say it. Nobody wants to hear it. So anyway, that has left us with a big Dancing with the Stars shaped hole in our talking schedule. And so we are going to fill it with 2 streaming series that we have, one that's new that we have heard good things about, and one that has been around for a while that people will not stop talking about. So next week we are going to watch the first episodes, season 1, episode 1 of both Only Murders in the Building and Ted Lasso. If you have watched either of those, you can come on back to hear what we have to say. And if you haven't watched them, but you've been feeling like you should, here's your excuse. Go get it. And that's going to be it for our Round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terri.
Goodbye, everybody.